Hey guys, I'm finally going to get this channel off the ground. I've had a few questions about my audio setup, so I thought this would be a good video to start the channel with. I'm going to go through my helmet audio setup today. I'm going to go through a couple of the items that I use to make that happen. So if you're interested, stick around and find out more. So I had a few goals when I set out to start recording audio and video on my motorcycle. So first I wanted to have clear audio, obviously, when I was riding, which turned out to be a little more challenging than I thought it would be. I wanted to be easily removable from the helmet because most of the time I'm not recording, so I needed something. I only have one helmet, so I needed something that I can pull off the helmet pretty quickly. I didn't want to use two parts to it. In other words, I didn't want to have a recorder and the camera because I just feel like that's too complicated. It adds a lot of bulk to when I'm riding or in recording. I had wires up in my helmet. I did try it, but I didn't care for it much. So I needed a single solution where the microphone plugs directly in the camera. The camera I chose is a Get Up, Get 2. It's not a GoPro, but it's a GoPro copy. It's a Chinese knockoff, I guess. But when I was reviewing cameras, one of the things that I liked about it, well, two things actually. It's the same size and shape as a GoPro, so all the buttons are in the same place. And the other thing is, in audio tests, the audio coming out of this camera was actually really good in most of the reviews I saw. So to me, that meant that it had a good audio processor or audio DAC in it. So I thought I'd take a chance. And it's less than $100, so bonus all the way around. Speaking of price, I wanted this whole setup to kind of be fairly inexpensive. I don't have tons of money to spend on this stuff, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to do it. So this whole entire setup, minus the helmet, was less than $200. And so when I was looking around at cameras, the cameras I found, like GoPros, are, I mean, $200, and that's the camera, at least the camera. In most cases, like to get a 4 or a 5, it was going to be a lot more than $200 just for the camera. So the microphone I chose to use, I actually tried two different ones. I got a kit from Purple Panda off of Amazon. It was about $20, and that worked okay, but had a lot of noise, wind noise still, no matter what I did. So a lot of the vloggers use the Sony ECM CS3 microphone, and I found it to be pretty good. It's a stereo microphone. It's got microphone on both sides. It's got capsules on both sides, and that was kind of key to the way that I'm going to install it in my helmet. The other thing is I got this Blackout case for the Get Up, Get 2, and this roll of Velcro, which turns out to be really important to how I mount it, and really important to being easily removable. I have an old microphone cover that I have here. It kind of started out like this, and I cut a piece out, and I'm going to wrap that around the microphone. So I just kind of cut part of this out. I cut the top off and cut the side out, and this lays in here really nicely. So I just put the microphone in here, and this way the foam is covering both ends of the capsule, and then I take two pieces of Velcro like this and wrap it around. So I wrap this really tight, right? And then I take another, where'd my other piece go? Oh, right here. And then I take this one, and this, I wrap it, I use two pieces so the wire will stick out of the bottom. And I wrap it really tight, All right, and then what I end up with is a well wrapped, the microphone part is pretty well covered, and I've got Velcro around it. So then I take this other kind of Velcro. This is just the hook side of a piece of adhesive Velcro, and pull the backing off, and then I can stick it right inside the helmet by the cheek pad. Now, you probably won't be able to see this, but you get the idea. It goes in on the flat part right near your mouth. And then when I get set up, I mount my camera, I mount the microphone. I can just stick it up inside of here and stick it right to the Velcro. And it's out of the way. It's inside the helmet and near my mouth and out of the road, so it's not rubbing on my face. Then I just take this, wrap it around the camera arm here, and easy, quick solution. And I think it sounds pretty good also. So as soon as I get done making this part, we'll go out, we'll take a ride and see. I guess one other piece that's kind of important. Now this came in the purple Panda kit, and this is the GoPro audio adapter. Now these from GoPro themselves like $35 or $40, and the whole kit I bought from Purple Panda costs less than $20. So, and this was one of the pieces that included a bunch of other adapters too, but this works really well. I haven't had any problems with it. I know I've read on some other reviews that these cheapo adapters, some of them don't work, but this one does work, the one from Purple Panda, and you get a bunch of other adapters too that work pretty good. The microphone itself, it's pretty easy to take out. I just pull it off the Velcro and there you go. This microphone, this ECM CS3 mic from Sony, cost $20 also, so pretty good value all around. All these parts and pieces, like I said, it's less than $200. So with that said, let's go take a ride and see what it sounds like. I thought I'd do one last thing before I took off on the ride. I wanted to just show you what it looked like when it's all hooked up. So you can see I've got the little USB adapter right here, and the camera's mounted on its arm, and I just wrapped the wire right around the arm of this pretty tightly, not too tight, and if I have to buy another adapter eventually, that's no big deal. It's only a few bucks. And then the microphone's mounted, and it just comes out the bottom of the right by here where the chin skirt is. So anyway, just wanted you to see that before we went on the ride. So let's go. Okay guys, so this is what it sounds like, doing about 30. It's a pretty windy day today actually, so this will probably be a good test of what it would sound like. I'm not going to take it up to highway speeds on this test. I can do that if you guys want. Just leave a comment or a question. But I don't expect that most days I would be riding on the interstate and recording. There's no amount of wind suppression that can really solve that issue. So I'm gonna just take off, and we'll get up to about 50 miles an hour on this though. So anyway, hopefully the video looks good. Like I said, I'm pretty impressed with the Get 2 camera. We've got it's got image stabilization in it, which works pretty well. Crap, I always have problems with this light. But we'll see if maybe I get lucky. Somebody will take a left turn with me. But yeah, it's got image stabilization, which works pretty good. Here's what it sounds like with the face mask open. So you don't have near as much compression, so I imagine it sounds okay. But when you close the lid, obviously get all that compression in here, and that's why
I think it sounds pretty good. Alright guys, so we'll get this thing up to about 50 miles an hour. 52 right now, so hopefully this is a good sample of what kind of wind noise you can expect. I find this microphone is pretty manageable in terms of wind noise. It's got good noise suppression generally, especially at lower speeds. I think when you get up over 60 or 70 miles an hour, I think all microphones struggle a little bit simply because of all the compression that's going on inside the helmet. Now maybe it would be a little bit better if I had a quieter helmet with less wind noise, but this HJC helmet is pretty noisy in terms of wind, even with the chin skirt in. But anyway, so there you have it. This is what it sounds like.
Alright guys, that wraps up my first video here on the YouTubes. If you like this content, want to see more of it, leave me some comments or questions below, and drop me a like or subscribe to the channel. That would really help me understand what kinds of things you're going to like and if you want more of it. I'm going to try and pump out content at least on a weekly basis from here on out, so we'll see you in the next one.